It's a concern for Texas Republican Congressman Jodey Arrington, who joins us right now. Congress, what's going on here? I mean, yeah, but thinking of your state and what's happening here, you're wondering whether the government should be doing more to help our ranchers, right, to ease this, because it's a pretty noticeable uptick we're seeing.
Well, I think what our ranchers would say is we're not looking for the government to help us. We're looking for the government to get out of our way and off our backs and quit the climate fear-mongering that is a direct assault on fuel production and ag production, two critical supply chains for our country, not only our economy, but our national security. And it's distorting markets. It's completely disingenuous. It's intellectually dishonest to think that our cattle industry is contributing to global warming or some apocalyptic climate disaster in the near future. They actually emit less than 4% of our total greenhouse gases. They've brought them down significantly, about 40% over the last few decades, and they're producing about 60% more cattle. And oh, by the way, the demand for consumption of food is going to double by 2050. So we need the U.S. beef industry to supply the world food because we do it safer, we do it more sustainably than any country in the world, by about 10 to 50 times better and more environmentally friendly. So it doesn't make any sense.
How do we know that this is climate change is at the root of this, Congress? And a lot of people said simply supply and demand and people coming out of this economy and the slow economy of that. The demand is built. Hey, I'm going back to the grocery store and buying, bacon and pork and all of this stuff. And we've seen it across the board. So is it much more than just what you're saying here, but maybe something as basic as, hey, the economy is beginning to boom and these things are going up in price because it is?
Well, there will be some supply and demand dynamic for sure. I think you saw supply chains disrupted because of COVID. And so there is that. There's too much money in the system. We've put, I think, needless amounts of government spending that is causing inflationary effects on all goods and services. And that should be a concern. I mean, we've seen the 4% uptick year over year in inflation. And I mean, fuel costs, specifically talking about the Green New Deal and the unilateral actions taken by Biden, have gone, gas prices have gone up over 150%. So I think it is partly supply and demand, sort of cyclical dynamics, but a big part of it is government intervention, in my opinion.
So should the government do anything about this? I think you're kind of saying, or just get your hand off the pedal here, foot off the pedal here, and things will be fine. There are others who argue that is not the issue in this environment, that there's something bigger, because this is actually part of a global phenomenon. So what would you advocate President Biden do?
Well, I don't even know where to start because of this budget that I think is a bankrupt America budget. But I think I would say quit fear-mongering and quit placating the left with this climate alarmism and the extreme policies that follow that will hurt our economy by causing food and fuel costs to go up unnecessarily. I would say don't double the death tax where family farmers and ranchers have to sell their family operation just to pay the taxes. I'd say don't tax our businesses to the highest rate in the free world, higher than communist China, because we can't. It's hard to compete with China because they have state-owned farming and ranching. They subsidize their farmers, and it's hard enough to compete with them. So it's hard to find a place to start and stop on what I would tell Biden, but it would center around the Green New disaster assault on ag and energy and the tax hikes. They're going to set us way back and make it almost impossible to recover and add so much debt that we could have a debt crisis that we couldn't bail out of, and it would hurt every industry, not just ag and energy.
Congressman Arrington, thank you very much. I think we'll see how this all pans out.